I was actually competing on her ankle at, I think, the 2018 USA Championships. And yeah, part of my ankle bone died. Um,
And what, like it, I
I
didn't know
don't
it
even
could
know.
do
It's
that.
called an OCD. Yeah, it just died. So my Olympic dreams died with it.
Well, we are thrilled to formally introduce Olivia Livy Dunn, LSU gymnastics star, social media maven, and 2024 NCAA national champion. With over 13 million followers across TikTok and Instagram, Livy has truly set the benchmark for what it means to be a student athlete, signing multi-million-dollar NIL deals with brands like Viore and American Eagle. And you did this all while launching the Livy Fund to empower female athletes. Taking your routines from the floor to the runway, the 22-year-old Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover model is redefining fame and success. Please welcome Livy Dunn.
That was an intro. That was great.
Thank you for having me.
No,
I'm
it's so
excited.
great to have you. Great to have you. So I'm not sure exactly where to start. We've gone over so many different questions, but I think we'll get into your gymnastics career because you've been doing gymnastics since you were 3.
Yes.
And it's the love of your life, the passion of your life. Is that right?
Yeah, it was my first love. It really was.
And can you like set the stage a little bit? Do you remember even like the first meet you saw, or was it a particular gymnast that enthralled you? Like, how did you were only 3.
Yeah. So I would say I always loved to climb things. I was climbing cabinets when I was 3. I just always loved to move around. And I tried softball when I was young, and it was more of like a team dynamic, whereas
Right.
though, I would be playing first base and I would try and run across the field to go and catch balls in the outfield. Like I was crazy and I like didn't trust anyone around me. So it's like maybe an individual sport would be better for me, since I did love to climb everything and I was in control of my own destiny doing gymnastics. And I really did love it from a young age, and I still do.
Yeah. What do you think is the hardest part about, I mean, a gymnast at your level, because you went on to, nearly compete in the Olympics, right? You competed in the Junior Olympics.
Yeah, so I used to compete for Team USA. I feel like not a lot of people actually know that. I don't talk about it too much because in some people's lives it was a pretty dark time because of, the Karoli Ranch and those things that came along with USA Gymnastics at the time. But I did compete for Team USA, and we would go to Italy, compete. We won gold. That was one of the biggest honors of my life, but I mean, it was just not the right environment for me, and I kept getting hurt. So you know what, I'm gonna go enjoy the sport again in college, go to LSU, heal up and enjoy and love the sport.
I was looking up on social media and, actually I was looking on Grok, and it said when you were 15 to 16 that you were competing and that a bone in your ankle died.
Yes. Yeah.
What
I
is
know.
that? I've never heard that before.
I know. So I was actually competing on her ankle at, I think, the 2018 USA Championships. And yeah, part of my ankle bone died.
And what, like it,
I
didn't
don't
know it
even
could
know.
do
It's called
that.
an OCD. Yeah, it just died. So my Olympic dreams died with it.
Oh no, that's
it's okay.
awful.
So I ended up, it kind of healed a little bit. It stopped bothering me. And yeah, I went to college after that, but it was so painful. That was like one of my first real injuries. And I've actually never gotten any surgery, which is kind of crazy for
That's
a gymnast.
amazing.
And
you need to knock on wood right
Yeah.
now.
and I was like, you know what? I think if I just give myself time to heal, I can heal without surgery. So that's something I take pride in.
Yeah,
That
I would
have
say.
never needed surgery as a gymnast, which is very uncommon.
That is very unusual.
Yeah.
And you talk about being a gymnast and how common these injuries are. It's such a tough sport, especially to compete at the level that you were competing in. And I haven't ever competed in gymnastics except, when I was like rolling around, when I was little. I was never very good at it. I have much respect. But those who do, I mean, it's such strenuous training, it's diet, it's constant. And especially again, at the level that you were at, I imagine it's a little bit hard on a social life. Is that
Totally.
accurate?
Yeah. And I always say it kind of consumed my childhood, especially competing for the USA. So I had to be homeschooled. I, I think I started homeschooling when I was in seventh grade because that's when training became more rigorous and I knew I really wanted to go to the Olympics and I was on the USA national team. So I knew that I had to make a sacrifice and there's a lot of different things, whether it's like pool day with my friends, beach day, family vacations. Competing for the USA was what I wanted to do. So, I had to skip those proms and field trips. So it was give and take, but it was very rewarding doing what I did and being able to compete for the United States. That's a really cool thing that I get to say I did, which not a lot of people do. But yeah, it's rigorous on your body. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. But
Like what would a day look like? Your average day.
So I'd wake up and I would do some schoolwork.
And what time would you wake up?
Honestly, I don't even remember my schedule that much because it was so long ago. But I would wake up. I know I'd do some schoolwork. My mom was my teacher. Shout out, mom. But it was really hard. It was very, she's over there, but it was very hard to listen to you most of the time. I'm so sorry. I was probably like the worst student.
Listen to us anyway. I can't imagine if you're the teacher.
Yeah. So my mom was my teacher, and I would sit in the living room. My only classmate was my dog, pretty much. And
what was your dog's name?
Biscuit. She was a queen. But anyways, I would do my schoolwork, go to practice for 4 hours. And I would train with one other girl, and she ended up going to Alabama, which is like a rival.
Yeah.
So,
did you ever see her?
Yeah, she's still one of my best friends.
Oh, that's
so
great.
I trained with one other girl. We trained 4 hours in the morning, take an hour break, do more schoolwork, or go to the mall for a few minutes, go eat Panera there.
Right,
and then
right.
we would go back to practice and train like 4 more hours and condition at the end of practice. And then I would go to physical therapy after practice every single day because, when you're putting your body through all that rigor every single day, competing and training, it was pretty much every single day. You have to take care of your body.
Yeah,
and
recovery is important.
I would probably make my mom massage me too. Sorry, mom. And yeah,
She does it all.
It was
She
just a
does it
full-time
all,
job.
right?
yes, yeah, I'm a full-time job. I feel so bad, but yeah, it was crazy. It really was.
And along with the physical rigor, right? Because a lot of people, I don't think, really appreciate the mental fortitude that comes with that because, knowing you're missing certain, parties or whatever it is, but you have your goal. And so you know what you want to get to. But knowing that you're giving those things up, that you're making those sacrifices, pushing yourself every single day, that is a full-on mental game. And then especially with the aches and pains and everything else, towards the end of the day, like how do you equate what you learned from a mental toughness standpoint that's really gotten you through?
Gymnastics has taught me so many different lessons. Gymnastics is a mind game. It truly is. And I think
With yourself?
just in general, getting your body to do the skills that are so crazy.
Right. You'd be scared to do.
Sometimes your body
some of
doesn't
that
want to do it.
stuff.
Sometimes, you get mental blocks and your body does not do what your brain is telling it. So it can be super scary at times. And I know that's a subject, Simone has talked about because of the 2020 Olympics and the twisties, which I don't even like to say that word still because it's like so scary in gymnastics, but it truly is such a mental game. And I had a mental health, a coach, my aunt, her name is Laura St. John. She helped me with everything. Like truly, like she was always there to talk to me. I know she has talked to some of my teammates, some girls at my gym growing up. And I think that having someone there besides your coach is super important because your coach doesn't always understand from a mental aspect, the challenges of trying to get your body to be perfect and do perfection every single day. So my aunt always helping me through it changed my gymnastics career. And still to this day, I talk to her and she helps me make my dreams come true.
What's one of the biggest lessons she taught you?
That you're more than your sport. she would tell me that, and I think that carried over into my life now, because yes, I found so much success in gymnastics, especially competing for the USA, which, like I said, not a lot of people know that I did that. I kind of blew
Right.
up when I got to college.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Because it is really an amazing accomplishment.
Thank you so much. And I think her reminding me that I am more than my sport, and after I did not make my Olympic dreams come true, that I could still find success that I wanted. And it all came true. And I think that having that good mindset and having somebody there to, encourage you and help you, especially during those really hard times. I mean, whenever you're up, there's a down. And
It's true.
during
But you know
those,
what? You might not know what up felt like if you didn't know what down felt like,
exactly.
right?
And I think that getting through those points, my aunt, she has helped me, and she's one of the best mindset coaches, I think, in the world.
Is she called a mindset coach? Is she a sports, does she have a particular
say-
field that
I
she
mean,
studied, or
I would say mindset coach, because
mindset coach?
that plays into sports too. And she really helped me up my game in athletics as well. Especially, I mean, my life has been great, but I think athletics is what turned me into who I am today. And without her, I wouldn't be who I am.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so you have this traumatic, I'm going to call it, and you correct me where I'm wrong, but this moment where you think you're going to the Olympics, right? And your ankle dies, and you're not certainly not expecting
Right.
this, right? And I'm sure it was not an easy time for you. And your aunt helps you get through it. How did you then wind up at LSU?
So I was actually recruited by LSU. The recruiting rules were different back when I was looking at colleges. The rule changed now that you can't be recruited until your junior year of high school. So I was recruited by schools when I was like 11 years old.
Okay.
And people would commit to college. I think I committed going into my freshman year of high school, which was considered late. Like, a bunch of my friends had already committed to schools. So I knew I loved LSU the first time I stepped on campus. I mean, when I was so young, I didn't know what LSU was because I'm from New Jersey, and I was literally like, oh, I like purple. But like, I had no clue. But as soon as I visited LSU, and, the head coaches would come to my gym in New Jersey and recruit me, I fell in love with LSU. It was really like, it felt like family, and the girls on the team, that's what drew me to LSU, because I could tell that it wasn't fake. I mean, I went to other schools and it just didn't feel like how it did at LSU. And also, the Tiger fans are insane. Like, they're insane. And I knew that, okay, I didn't go to the Olympics and I didn't have that experience competing in front of like absolutely crazy crowds, like at an Olympic Games. But LSU, I would say, is the craziest environment. And I always try to put whenever I would compete in the PMAC, which is the arena at LSU, I would always try to put myself in the other team's shoes for a second and just take it and be like, oh, well, I don't even know what I'd do if I was the away team right now. It is intimidating. It's fun. It's loud. And I knew that's the experience I wanted and I deserved when I got to college.
Ooh, I love that answer.
Thank you.
Well, Elise has been dying to ask you about your social media.
Yeah.
Yes. So obviously you now have 8 million followers on TikTok, over 5 million on Instagram. Insane. And I just, curious how you tell the story of Junior Olympics to college, and then when did this take off and how?
Yeah. So my social media took off during COVID. But I actually started social media when I was probably 10 years old, I think.
Okay.
That's when I remember I downloaded Instagram. And ever since then, I was just in love with looking at the analytics, what people liked, what people didn't. I remember the first thing that ever went viral for me. I was doing, it's called a tour jete ring. And it's a gymnastics move. And I put it in slow motion, put it on my Instagram when I was super young, because I was in the gym all day. Like, I just would post gymnastics stuff. And it went quite viral because I guess not a lot of people my age at that point were doing all these crazy skills.
Sure.
So it drew a lot of traction, and ever since then, I loved looking at analytics. I had amassed about 100,000 followers just from competing gymnastics before I even got to college. So during quarantine, I got stuck at my grandma's condo in Florida, and I was like, you know what? I kept scrolling on TikTok, yada, yada. My mom's like, if you're going to be sitting there scrolling, you might as well create something. Like, do something while everyone's bored.
Do something
Yeah.
productive.
Right.
Yeah. And also, it's so funny because people are like, how did you get started on social media? I was like, also, I was homeschooled. That
Yeah.
was my way of connecting with people.
Yeah.
And I was like, nobody's there to make fun of me either. I was like, it's just me
True.
and my mom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would
Don't read the comments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I started posting during quarantine consistently. That's the key. I would post consistently, looked at what worked, looked at what didn't, and it just blew up from there. I would flip around at the beach. It was kind of like morphing my passion, gymnastics, and bringing it to where I was stuck during quarantine. So I would post all these videos of me flipping around at the beach, and I feel like maybe it was just like a happy part of people's day seeing someone flipping around at the
Yeah.
Well, I
beach.
think it's inspiring.
Yeah, and then I
right?
got to college after, and people couldn't believe that I was an actual gymnast.
Because
They're
they
like,
didn't know your
yeah.
past.
There she
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
Look at that.
So if only we could do that.
So I would just, yeah.
No, I could do that.
Oh,
I would bring some of my
Prove it.
I would hurt myself.
Yeah, now it's all a fun party trick. All that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, so I got to college and it just kept blowing up from there. People couldn't believe I was an actual gymnast and I didn't just flip at the beach every single day. So they started following LSU gymnastics in my career, and yeah, it has been so much fun. It's been such a blessing.
And now you're at the LSU baseball game, you're at your boyfriend's baseball game, wherever you are, you just like think of, oh, this would be fun. Or like, where's your inspiration? Because it's so impressive to me that you post. And I'm like, why couldn't I think of that? Or like, why is that so cool? It's
Yeah.
because she's doing it.
I feel like I always have had my finger on the pulse of what's going on. Maybe someone call me chronically online, but I don't know. But yeah, I've always enjoyed, like I said, seeing what worked, what didn't. My sister, she helps me with everything. I work with her every single day. Her name is Jules. She's the best. I work with her and my mom, and we're like, as we don't always get along.
I was gonna say
Not
that's a
always,
tough combo.
But I like, it's always, short-lived little arguments, but she helps me with everything: content creation, coming up with captions, putting videos together for brands. It's a team effort for sure, and it definitely takes our village, I would say. Yes.
Wow.
Are you ready to hold WWE history in the palm of your hand? Topps is bringing you closer to the action than ever before with WWE Topps Now, highlighting the biggest matches and milestones from WWE shows and PLEs throughout the year. Topps Now is enhancing the fan experience by connecting collectors to the superstars and spectacles that ignite their passion. Featuring stunning event-exclusive photography, each card is made for the moment. And for some lucky collectors, that moment could become the pull of a lifetime. Along with serial numbered parallels, some Topps Now releases offer a chance at rare short prints, superstar autographs, and even pieces of the mat, gear, or other items used during the featured match. So which moments will you collect? With each card only available for a limited time, you won't want to wait to begin your Topps Now journey. Be sure to subscribe to the WWE Topps Now mailing list on Topps.com and follow Topps on all social media platforms so you never miss a single moment.
I was just gonna say it's so impressive, and shout out to the village over here.
Yeah.
Right?
I actually think you guys should start your own branding company, but that's like a whole nother thing. But it's for, seriously, you can continue to grow what you know and what you love in so many different ways.
Yeah, and she helps me. My sister and my mom help me also with the Livy Fund, which I started for female athletes to help provide NIL deals for them, because I've been so fortunate to be put in the position where I do get these brand deals, and I've learned and I've worked with these brands, and I know what works and what doesn't and how to communicate with the brands. Thanks to my sister and my mom too. They get on the calls with me. They get on calls for me. So we started the Livy Fund all together to help bring NIL deals to either my teammates or female athletes at LSU. I'd like to expand that further.
That was going to be one of my questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'd like to expand that beyond LSU because it is a passion of mine, and NIL did change my life. And there are good parts to NIL, which I know not a lot of people right now are saying, especially, when it comes to the men's sports.
What are some of the good parts?
That it has the opportunity to change a female athlete's life. I mean, there's not a lot of professional leagues for women's sports outside of college. So it's so important to capitalize on your name, image, and likeness, which you should have rights to because it's yourself.
Yeah.
While you're, competing in front of some of the biggest crowds of your life, while these teams and fan bases love you. So I think that's so important. And aside from, men's sports, it's so important for the girls to capitalize on that while they can.
I heard in an interview that you gave, you were talking about just that, how oftentimes, it seems to be a little bit easier for the men competing in certain sports. And that's one of the reasons why you wanted to do this for women, to really talk to them about how to capitalize on this opportunity before them. So what are the tricks of the trade that you're willing to share on here? How do you have your first conversation with the brand?
Yeah. So I think, first of all, nobody expected a gymnast to be at the forefront of NIL. So I think saying
Yeah,
the
you can say fuck.
expectations
Right.
and the haters, first of all, because nobody would
And
expect
how do you
a gymnast
ignore
to
the
be.
haters?
Truly, I'm going to be completely honest. Either you have to ignore them or block them. I have no shame in blocking people.
Good.
Or unfollowing. If you're getting hate and you don't want to see it, you have control over your account. That's the fun part of social media. You get to share what you want and you get to not share what you don't want to share. If you don't see something you like, I just block it. But yeah, or ignore it because half
And
that
that's
stuff is
not
just,
like, because I think people, especially when they're first getting their presence online, they think like, oh, I need all of those people.
yeah, you don't want those people
Yeah.
anyways. Or if you do leave those kind of comments, you just have to think of it, okay, well, this person is engaging with my post and it's going to help the algorithm. But yeah, if it really depends on who you are, but all that kind of stuff is just clutter and it's not going to help you. It really is not. And I've noticed the more you do right, the more people try to knock you down.
That's true.
Every single time when something good is happening to me or I'm about to have a breakthrough, whether it's a huge new collaboration or something great, whether it's a Sports Illustrated cover, there's always, the down. There's always people trying to pull at you, tear you down. I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know what it is, but it's funny how things work because usually there's a breakthrough right about to happen after.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
My husband always tells me, because I can't help but, if I read 10 comments, even 9 of them are positive and 1 is negative, I fixate on that negative
Yeah.
comment. And I'm like, why would they say that?
Yeah.
And he goes, Steph, honestly, would you ask that person their opinion for anything?
That's what my sister says. She's like, don't take criticism from somebody you wouldn't take advice from. And I think in that case, what you just said, that is a prime example. Usually these people don't even have a profile picture.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's what my husband also says. Yeah, and they're hiding in their mother's basement.
Yeah, and
so
their username is like
shouldn't
user
care.
193249.
Yeah. We definitely don't want their advice.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, speaking of, because you did mention, and I would like to ask you more about the Livy Fund, but you were the cover model for Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. You also walked the runway and did a pretty fabulous stunt.
Yes.
That I don't think any model, at least that I've heard of, has ever done before.
Yeah.
But can you talk about that experience and, how did you even become aligned with Sports Illustrated?
Yeah.
How did that whole process unfold?
So I got offered to be in Sports Illustrated and all started because of a hit piece the New York Times wrote about me.
Hmm.
So they came to our gymnastics facility at LSU, took pictures of me. They said, wear your team issued attire, put on a leotard, and they took a picture of me standing in front of the beam, like any gymnast would. And then they blew it up on the screen and put the headline, Sex Sells.
Nice.
Okay, well, you just came into the facility and took pictures of me in our team issued attire and blew it up on a screen.
That you
and said
asked me to wear.
Yes.
So you
that they-
clearly set me up.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, well, this is crazy. And there was obviously a lot of backlash to the New York Times because of that. And I decided I'm going to put that same picture that they posted and captioned Sex Sells. I'm going to put on my Instagram story and write at New York Times, is this too much? Because come on, like,
Right.
you know what you're doing. Like,
Right.
you just put a picture of me there in a leotard for clicks and then caption it Sex Sells.
Right.
So I put on my Instagram story and said, at New York Times, is this too much? And then people love that. They were like, this is so great because no, it's not too much.
No.
You're in your team issued attire, which is a leotard for gymnasts.
Right.
You can't control that. So Sports Illustrated reached out.
Well, plus if you wore a clothing that was baggy in any way,
It
like
can
you
get
could
caught.
kill
You
yourself.
can, yeah,
right?
you can get hurt. So it was just ridiculous. I ended up putting that on my Instagram story, and there was a lot of positive feedback from that. So Sports Illustrated reached out to my agent. I was so excited. Like, that was always a dream of mine. I mean, there's some legends and some amazing athletes that have been in Sports Illustrated. So I was super excited. This time it was my third year shooting with SI. And yeah, I got the cover.
And
I mean, yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I'm like, I cannot imagine the feeling. Like, you've done the shoot, so you know you're in it.
Yeah.
But when you found out that you were on the cover, what did that mean to you? What was your reaction for showing this
especially as the third
insane
time. I mean, look at that
picture?
Okay.
I was joking before that's your head superimposed on my body. I wish.
You're gonna
So there's a crazy backstory to that photo, actually. I was kneeling in the sand right there with a fractured kneecap
Nice.
because it was in the middle of gymnastics season, and they were like, okay, you want to come to Bermuda and shoot? It's always pretty last minute, but I was like, yeah, of course I do. And it was more practical. The other option was to go to Switzerland and shoot on a glacier.
Oh.
So it's like Bermuda's a little bit
Little
easier to get
easier.
to. So we had just competed at Auburn, and I left right from Auburn. My coach would never give me a day off. It's not his job to. It's his job to
right.
coach gymnastics. So I'd always go on like a day off and go. I flew from Auburn to Bermuda, shot the cover shot.
Which,
With a
did
fractured
you know
kneecap.
it was the cover?
No, I did not know when I was shooting. It was just another shoot. I was really feeling it this time, though. The
Yeah.
weather was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, you were feeling.
I felt extremely confident.
You were vibing, as my youngest would
I
say.
was majorly vibing,
Okay.
yes. And yeah, I knew the pictures were great this year. I saw little sneak previews of them. I always try to catch a peek. I had no clue, though. Nobody told me that I was shooting for a cover. I knew that bikini was MJ Day, the chief editor's favorite one. So we shot it twice. So I was like, okay, well, she must really like this one. But I've done that at shoots in the past, too,
Sure.
where I've not gotten a cover. So I ended up, continuing gymnastics season. That ended, and I was on family vacation at my grandma's condo where it all started, which is funny, where
wow.
my social media blew up.
Wow.
So there must be some good mojo there.
I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I was there on family vacation, and my mom, my whole family knew that I got the cover. They knew during
except
the
you.
gymnastics season, besides me. And I was on family vacation, and they're like, "Oh, Sports Illustrated wants to do an interview with you." I'm like, I'm on vacation though. Can I just wait like a day?
Like, really?
Gymnastics
Okay.
season just ended. I was like, okay, like it's fine. And my mom's like, please do your makeup. Like, please, can you please do it? And I was like, why? And
What's
she's like, you
going on,
never know
Mom?
with SI. It could be on like it could be on the screen at a Mets game. It could be. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll do my makeup. Did my makeup. I get on the call, and they then asked me how I felt looking at each of these behind the scenes photos from your shoot. And I was like, okay. Like, they're like, tell us how you felt in the moment. So I looked at some pictures, and I was like, oh, no, this was the last shot of the day. It was really fun. Oh, the water was beautiful. We were vibing, we were dancing. And then they put the cover on the screen. And they're like, and what do you think of this one? And I was like, no way. I nearly fell out of my chair. And I was like, no way. And I started freaking out. My family all knew. They were
bet.
laughing their asses off.
Because they set you up.
Yeah, they knew all along. So thank you, Mom, for making me do my makeup because they were recording it. It was a recorded interview.
Yes, that was a good call. Good
Yes.
call.
So it ended up just being one of the most authentic, special moments ever. And it's really changed my life. It's such an honor because of there's so many icons and amazing women that have been on the covers before me that paved the way for me, for all to align me being on the cover. So I'm just so grateful.
Well, it's amazing. And so then you parlay that to the runway,
Yeah.
right? So tell us about that iconic split.
Yeah. So actually, this is the first summer that I am free. And
Here you
yeah,
are.
here. This is the first summer where I don't have to train for gymnastics preseason. So I agreed to do Miami Swim Week. And I've never done that before in the past. I've been offered to go every single time I've shot with SI, and I've said no because of training and stuff and different obligations. So I went to Miami. I had no clue what to expect. I've never walked on a runway a day in my life. I've only ever walked in my bedroom mirror, after watching the Victoria's Secret fashion show growing up. I've literally never walked a runway. So I get to the rehearsal. You just do a quick run through of the show real quick, literally 2 hours before the show. And they're like, okay, Liv, you're opening the show. Oh, shoot. I've never even watched somebody walk down the runway in person.
Do you think maybe that was a blessing?
I think it was.
Yeah.
So I got to open the show with a Sports Illustrated t-shirt on, which was so cool. And it was an iconic moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided right after the rehearsal, I remember I was talking with my sister. I was consulting with only people that I knew would agree with me. I was like, should I do a split?
Of course. You know the answer you want to get.
And they were like, yeah. And they were like, yeah, just go for it. So I asked the head lady, MJ, and she was like, honestly, just have fun with it because this is not an ordinary runway. This isn't stoic, and I've never walked down a runway. So I'm like, I kind of think dropping into a split would be fun and show my athleticism
and be you.
Totally. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it. And people, when watching a fashion show like Sports Illustrated, want to see personality. They want to see movement. They want to see you having
Fun.
the time of your life.
Yeah.
Because it really was in the moment. It was so fun.
It's so great.
And yeah, I oiled myself up and dropped into a split.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It was so much fun.
And you look amazing
Thank
doing
you.
it. Yeah, I mean, really.
I feel like it's a very full circle moment where you're talking about your childhood missing out on stuff, right? Because you're working so hard to become this gymnast. And then you get these insane opportunities later in life where you're on vacation in Bermuda shooting for the cover. And then you're on the runway. What a crazy, you sacrifice so much and look where you are now.
Definitely. And I think one of the coolest parts about that runway show is the amount of girls they're watching. Because some people on social media are like, oh, this fashion show is just for guys. No. No. There were girls everywhere, front row. Miami Swim Week was a huge deal, and I had no clue. There are girls that are watching. I've had so many girls come up to me, way more girls than guys lately, talking about the runway and talking about women's sports to me, and that makes my heart so happy because I want girls to know that you don't have to limit yourself to one thing. You could really do it all and be successful in all areas, whether it's your sport, being an academic All-American, which I was fortunate enough to be. You can be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, be confident in your body and drop into a split. You can do whatever you want and find success in whatever you want and be confident. So, and obviously I haven't always been like this. I haven't always just been confident right off the bat. Gymnastics, you grow up in a leotard. Mm-hmm. That is so hard. And
especially when you're a teenage girl.
Yeah,
totally. So it's really hard growing up in a leotard, having these eyes on you and having to feel perfect. And I did have a very big male audience at the beginning of my college career. And that was hard. It was hard to feel like people were watching me, judging me. I definitely have
Blocked
had
a
some
lot of haters.
problems. Yeah, I definitely had some problems with some body issues. And I think that's something that not a lot of people talk about with gymnasts, because you can, like I said, you can just find success and find in however you feel confident in any body shape that you are, because gymnastics is just one of those sports where you have muscles. And people, when I first started posting, men were like, I do not like those muscles. They would call me a linebacker, they would call me a football player, they would call me
that's what you look like.
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, like even if that is the case, then why are you commenting on anyone's
Why
body
are you
online?
looking? Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And I think one of the things that taught me, and it was a timely process to learn to love those muscles, is when I did those SI shoots and I greased my body up and all the girls around me were hyping me up, and that family dynamic. And it was just so fun. And it was definitely, it was not overnight. So I want people to know that I didn't just decide one day that I was confident and drop into a split. That took a long time of growing to love myself and the body that I'm in and the muscles that I've worked so hard for, and I've accomplished so many great things in this body. That was the moment where I dropped into a split and I was like, yeah, I did that
Yeah.
in
I
this
own
body.
it all.
Yeah.
You know, in our business in WWE, some of the guests that we've interviewed and that I had the chance to interview on a different show have talked similarly about body issues, about being worried they're too muscular, shoulders, biceps, like muscles that a lot of girls don't necessarily have, especially at a young age, but that gymnasts seem to have, and that, some of our female athletes also have had and struggled with.
Yeah.
And it's so, I feel so bad for us girls sometimes because it's like no matter what we look like, we struggle and judge ourselves, whether we have a little extra weight or we're too muscular or whatever people are saying. It's so hard.
It is. And I think that recognizing that this is the body that you accomplish so many great things in.
Yeah.
Like, this is what God gave you, so you might as well flaunt it. And I mean, I seriously have struggled a lot. I've, dabbled into Photoshop. That's definitely a touchy subject. And I know I've gotten a lot of backlash because of that. And that's because I truly was not confident in myself. And I've grown so much from these times. And it's a normal thing. You can do it if you want. You don't have to. I had such a hard time for a minute there while I was blowing up because so many people were making all these comments and I felt like I had to be perfect. And I think that it's so cool that so many girls, this was years ago, but now so many girls are coming up to me and, thinking that dropping into a split on a runway is so cool, and being a badass athlete and being in school and accomplishing all these things. It's just so cool to see the positive feedback from females.
Yeah.
So I think that, it's just been so cool to watch my audience slowly change into what it is now, because there are so many young girls. And I just want them to know that they can do it all. And body image stuff, it does not change overnight. And that was really hard for me. And especially with Sports Illustrated, you don't get to see those pictures after they're taken. Like, I mean, I can get a peek, but I don't get to choose what's in the magazine.
Can you just like cover that up?
I was like,
Blur
and
me
that's
here.
so hard at first because someone else is in control of like your destiny to be in
Yeah.
a magazine. Like,
The cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I didn't get to like pick the cover photo. I don't get to see any of the Sports Illustrated photos until they're online with everybody else. And when it's your Instagram, you get to like pose and angle yourself the way
Sure.
that you want in
Right.
every single picture. And I think that learning that, okay, I still look good in these photos and I should love this because I'm in freaking Sports Illustrated and I've accomplished so many great things in this body. So I think that's something that took a lot of time to learn, but I'm very grateful that it got me to the point where I'm at now, because I'm happy with myself and I love the opportunities that I get to have and the platform I get to have to share these conversations. I don't know if I've ever seen a conversation really like this about gymnastics and your body. And yeah, I just
Yeah,
think
and
it's
it's
cool.
what absolutely, and that's your story, right? And that's what inspires you. And I want to ask you too, as and go as deep as you want. But you talk a lot about perfection and single team sport, right? So you're in control of your own destiny. I would believe you're more of a type A
Yeah.
personality.
Yes.
And oftentimes there is so much pressure that we put ourselves under when we're of that mindset. And especially being in such a high profile sport, and being such a public figure, on social media, what are some of the key lessons that you've learned, and how did you learn them in terms of not having to be perfect, or your definition of perfection?
Yeah, I think I learned that as soon as I got to college, because going into college, everyone is the best at where they're coming from. So I was the best at my gym in New Jersey. I was one of the best gymnasts in New Jersey, and all these amazing gymnasts come to LSU. And what used to be the best in whatever part of the country you're from is suddenly not the best when you have all the best gymnasts in the country all together. And I think that was a really hard pill to swallow at first. I'm talking about like gymnastics perfection right now.
Yep.
There's so many good gymnasts that are on a D1 gymnastics team, and you don't get to control what the lineups are. So that was a very hard thing when I first got to college, because sometimes it isn't always fair. And I mean, I feel like that, and I know that other gymnasts feel that way too.
Of course.
It's out of your control, and you have to just let the cards fall how they do. Like sometimes you don't make a lineup. Sometimes you are hurt, and that's out of your control. And like you can't be perfect every single time. If you practice a routine and it's a little bit wrong, that could cost you a lineup. So it really that was hard at first in college, because you're not the best anymore. Everyone is so good. And I would say with social media, it just took time and to learn to love myself, because it's hard to
Loving
scroll.
yourself is the hardest lesson to learn.
I mean, when you scroll, I remember scrolling, and growing up, it was like the Victoria's Secret fashion show and models. Like those were the people that I'd see online that were like famous, and it's hard not to compare. And you truly can't, because what you see all the time is not what you get. It really isn't. Like, I mean, my Instagram feed is all of my, accomplishments and all these great moments in my life, whether I'm, at the College World Series posing with a hot dog, or like
right.
on the cover of
With your
Sports
cool
Illustrated.
jersey.
It's just, you have to learn to not compare either. I think that's really important, that it's usually just a highlight reel of all the great moments of your life with social media. Yeah.
Not the upsetting ones, right? You don't
I
necessarily
usually don't share negative content, or like that's not my avenue.
Right.
I know that some people do that and they share more vulnerable stuff, which I'm learning. I did share a vulnerable moment about about people coming to the airport and stalking me down for autographs, and at every single airport I would go to,
I did
there'd
see
be
your post
people
about that.
waiting for me, and that was like a vulnerable thing for me, because usually anytime I try to be vulnerable online, I get really bad backlash. Because of the position I'm in, people are like, we don't care. Like, but I think that was an important message, because there are some boundaries and they crossed my boundary. So I spoke out about it.
And have you ever, has Sports Illustrated offered to provide you with security? Has LSU?
I do have security.
Okay.
I just don't travel with it everywhere.
I
mean,
know, but even if they met you at the airport, because I understand what that's like, when not at the fans accosting anybody, but they know the travel schedule.
yeah,
And it is the craziest thing. And you were mentioning, like, even if you are on a flight where you stop somewhere and then you're going on to your next destination, that this group of people, or there are people who are there. And obviously, you know, there's some type of leak somewhere or someone hacked into
Yeah.
the system or whatever. But it's important. You should definitely make sure you have, even if it's the airline itself that has a representative that can meet you.
Yeah,
It's just really important. Your safety is really important.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for
No,
hearing.
of course, of
That's so
course.
sweet.
And you know, they're telling us we have to
I
wrap,
know.
which I'm like, oh my god, I have so many great questions to ask you because I think you have so much to offer. So I'd love to know, you know, as we're wrapping this, what you gave us a lot of lessons for young girls, but if you could articulate, you know, to those young girls who really look up to you, you know, and who do see your 8 million TikTok followers and 5 million on Instagram. There's a lot of people, you know, and there's a lot of opportunity. I bet you're making more of an impact in people's lives than you even realize. You know, the subtlest thing you do, even just, you know, giving words of encouragement can change somebody's whole life. So what are those parting words that first you'd like to give to those young girls, and then what are the ones that you want to give to those female college athletes, you know, all over the country who are giving it everything that they have and who are finding themselves suddenly in that position where they're not the best, or, you know, as the level they thought they were, suddenly everybody's the best. And
Yeah.
it's that extra level. So what are the messages for those two different audiences?
Ooh, I would say to the younger girls, I think I repeated it earlier, but you are more than your sport, truly. And that's something that it's really hard to wrap your head around growing up when you're surrounded by adults where this is also like their livelihood and their passion, and that's their job. So sometimes, you know, if one thing goes wrong, it could feel like your life is ending. And that's something that I'm still trying to
I bet you're
fix
freshly
today.
out of gymnastics.
Freshly out of gymnastics, and sometimes some things in sports feel like detrimental, like
Mhm.
like that, like the world is over if you make a mistake, or if, you know, you want to go get a water or do like the slightest thing. Like sometimes in sports you just have like a feeling like you can't, I don't know, like I still wake up sometimes at 7 a.m. like, oh my God, did I miss weight? Like everything feels life or death. So I would tell young girls that you are more than your sport, and take it easy, because there's so much more to life than what your performance is on a gymnastics mat or on a field or wherever it is. And I would say when you get to college and now dealing with NIL and that whole crazy world, surround yourself with people you trust, because there's a lot of crazy, shady people, that want to take advantage of, you know, young athletes that don't know what's going on in NIL.
Sure.
It can be very shady. So I took my time finding the right agent. I didn't just have an agent right away after the NIL rule changed. You know, it took months to pick out who I felt comfortable with. And I think that's so important, is,
Someone you trust.
yeah, I say no to more things than I say yes to.
That's great.
Yeah, surround yourself with people that you trust and that you know. And yeah, you don't have to rush into everything, because there are some shady people in the NIL world.
I just know you have so much more. How much time do we have? Oh, because I think you have something
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Before we just have to
Oh,
hit the
I'm sorry.
one
This is for
Fanatics.
fanatics that I
Yeah.
have to get in. So we saw you at the College World Series, and you were rocking the LSU and then the Pirates jersey on the back, which I didn't even get to ask you about, Paul. But we know you're a diehard LSU fan. So our friends at Fanatics want to ask, what is your Mount Rushmore of LSU jerseys across all sports?
Oh,
It's such
man.
an unfair
know.
question.
Okay.
I hate the Mount Rushmore
So
question
I'm gonna
for
start.
myself.
I'm gonna start with Haley Bryant. She's my best friend and was one of my teammates at LSU. Goat of gymnastics. She is an icon. I love her, and she's like has the most All-American titles ever. So she's going on the Mount Rushmore. I would say Mondo Duplantis. He is a track runner that constantly is setting records, breaking world records, Olympic champion, really nice guy. He's going on the Mount Rushmore. Oh man,
Two more.
No. I would say Joe Burrow. Have to go with him. Obviously, you have to. I can't decide between Paul and Shaq.
Go with Paul.
I feel like it's
Go with
Paul.
Paul.
And I'll say I have to go with Paul. I have to go with Paul. Sorry, Shaq, but I have to go with Paul because I
For
love
many
him.
reasons.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Livy. This was just phenomenal. I love the message that you have in general. Be yourself. Be proudly yourself. You're more than your sport. You're more than your, how people see you. And embrace all sides of you. And know that, perfection is a living, breathing thing. And nobody's ever going to be completely perfect, no matter what you try to do. So just try to be the best you can possibly be.
Exactly that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clearly, we're wearing different clothing, but that's okay.
Mine's like a very discreet outfit. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
fine.
really.
Subtle.
Yeah. Do you want to do the gender reveal?
It's a food baby.
That's her line, actually. I stole it.
Our colors. I'm not.
They got it right away. They didn't have to explain. A joke's not funny
I
if you have
know.
to explain it. They laughed.
That's what I do. They popped for you. It's my joke.
I know. That's what I said. I stole your line. I did. I totally did. Any good line is worth stealing. How's that?
Ooh.
Mm.
Okay, what are we doing?
We're talking about
Oh,
pretty much this week, but I think, Olivia Dunn, who we had the opportunity to interview,
Livy.
Livy Dunn. And she's amazing. She really is. And it's so interesting to me to hear all of these people at the top of their game, and especially athletes, I think, and we've, obviously interviewed majority of athletes, but it's how what they do defines them. And with Livy Dunn, she just finished her gymnastics career, like the 2025 this year.
Right.
So that's a very hard transition, when suddenly you're no longer doing the sport that you were defined or that you felt defined by.
Right.
And it was her aunt who really helped her get through that. And the main takeaway she kept having over and over was you're more than your sport.
Yeah, I mean, obviously never competing at her level, but like playing sports my whole life through college, when you get hurt and on on a different level, but you get hurt and you lose that opportunity even for a game.
Yeah.
Mentally,
Crushing.
if you really care about the sport you're doing or what you're doing, it crushes you.
Yeah.
And to hear her say like she had to stop and think I'm more than my sport. And I wish someone told college at least that, or
Yeah.
And it's a very important
At least
message.
it's a two-sport collegiate athlete, soccer and softball. Yeah.
yeah.
And then got her MBA
Yeah.
while holding down like 3 different jobs.
I was sleeping in the car to take a nap outside of Gillette Stadium because I was working. I wanted to work at the ticket office. I was just trying to get in.
And
And I'm like, I'm touching Rob Ninkovich's family's tickets. They're like, you gotta go. This weirdo. Stage 5.
Maybe you shouldn't interview Tom Brady.
I told you. Listen, I feel that I kept it pretty cool
You have
for Gronk.
you
but-
did.
But
You were great.
yesterday, I almost passed out when I saw him in the distance, which is weird.
After?
In the moment when you were
Tom,
meeting
yes.
him,
I'm sorry. not Tom.
I got a little weak in
when
the
I
knees.
when I had the
when
chance
you-
to
yeah.
shake his hand.
And what did you say to him?
Oh, let's see. So he did the WWE entrance, and then he got tackled by Eli Manning.
Yes.
And I said, "Oh, that's probably the story of your life." And then we were talking about the contest because here at Fanatics, they have this incredible contest. It's like 10 different activations. The WWE Superstar Entrance is one of them. And it's fans and athletes competing together. And of course, Tom Brady's currently number 1. I
Right.
mean, but
Goat.
so I made that joke too. I was like, "Oh, well, Tom Brady, of course, of course you're the GOAT. Of course you're number 1." And then I said, "I'm sure that's the story of your life too."
And he loved it.
Well, he laughed. I don't know. He loved it.
He loved
It could
it.
have been a polite chuckle, really. No, you might not have even heard what I said. But
No, he heard
sorry.
you. He didn't hear me because I was
You were behind.
in the distance,
Yeah.
sweating. Back to more than
It
your
was hot.
sport.
Yeah. But yes, but being more than your sport. I mean, and I imagine Tom Brady even that we don't know necessarily all of the things that went down, but he retired and then unretired,
Right.
and then came back to play for Tampa Bay. And how, like, what did he go through?
Yeah.
It clearly he wasn't ready to say goodbye yet.
Right.
And he tried that on. He thought he was ready. The announcement got out. And then he was like, "Oh my God, I'm
Not yet.
I'm not done."
Yeah, and I mean, and Gronk, Randy, all these different people we've met with, people you've talked to during Stephanie's Places, like you hear that same message of like, who am I without this, my
Yeah.
identity, in a sport or in a
Even
whatever it is.
Chris Angel, right? Who
Yeah.
who is he without Magic?
Right. Everyone has something that they, especially these
I
people.
mean,
that
what's Dom without In-N-Out Burger?
well,
Right?
married.
well done.
Right?
Well done. Yes.
I feel good about that.
That was good. That was a good one. But, Livy's just, she's so well put together at such a young age,
Yeah.
and she's lived through a lot that I think, people don't necessarily know. Like when she was saying, people don't know I competed for Team USA, like that should have been
The number one.
exactly.
Yeah. It's
Like
so
that's,
impressive.
and she was so proud and so
Yeah.
proud to have represented her country. And when she said my ankle bone died, which we did ask her about,
It's
and
real.
then it killed my Olympic career, she then erupted in laughter. But I was like, "Ooh, is that a defense mechanism, or is she just really that was a moment and she
Yeah.
was just making fun of herself?" But it's like she's such a remarkable, accomplished young woman, right? I
She-
sound like my mother
No,
to say
no,
young
but
woman.
I mean,
I am
she's-
not a young woman. But Livy Dunn is.
she is. Let me riz you up real quick.
I don't think you should use that word.
Okay. See, but now you don't feel like your mother anymore. I made you forget.
Maybe it's worse, but anyway.
I was gonna say though, she seems very self-aware at such a young age. Like she's learned so much about herself, what she had to overcome, and she's just thriving now.
I think she'd be an excellent WWE superstar.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
you heard it here first.
Yeah.